The so-called new trends are just recycling of past ideas. Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be talking about something I mentioned earlier. We're going to be talking about how there are no new trends. And that might seem very obvious or counterintuitive, but we're going to get to the root cause of this situation right now. So it's that time of the year again. Fall is here, and with it, we get a lot of new trends or a surge of new fashion trends. But if you've been paying attention and if you've noticed, there's nothing new. In fact, we're actually stuck in a cycle of repetition. The same boots, the same clothes, the same outfits, the same everything. Saying there's nothing new in fashion is kind of like a contradiction to my previous video where I talked about fall fashion trends. But it's more of a conversation on the trend cycle and the speed at which consumerism and fast fashion have taken over the authenticity of people's dressing and fashion sense. The so-called new trends are just recycling of past ideas, presented with new variations, but nothing truly innovative. So, the question is, what's happening to fashion? Let's be real, fashion has always been cyclical. Trends from the past always find their way to the spotlight, whether it's 90s minimalism or 2000s Y2K or vintage silhouettes from the 70s. But in the past, there was room for innovation. But now with fast fashion and social media, there's always a push for something new, and it feels like we finally hit that wall. This fall, it's more obvious than ever that we've hit that wall when it comes to fashion. Yes, there's still some innovative trends or additions to the regular cycle, but for the majority of it, we've hit the wall. If you take a look around, same chunky boots, same knitted sweaters, same flannel. Fashion cycles have always repeated themselves. The difference is the speed at which the fashion cycle rises and falls and what is trending and what is not. Fast fashion brands churn out clothing in the masses every single week. That's in rotation with people doing massive hauls every week and the curation of new trends every week on social media. And instead of us getting a new idea, we're regurgitating the same thing in its exact form without any form of innovation. Because the speed at which we are bringing in trends leaves no room for innovation at this point in time. It leaves no time for the idea to marinate and form into something new, something better, something that has metamorphosized into a new trend in and of itself. We used to have seasons, now we don't have seasons anymore. We have a lot of micro trends that burn as quickly as they start, like the mob wife aesthetic that was trending for literally just 2 weeks. It was a weird trend in itself, like weird period in time where people thought that was something that should be trending, and as quickly as it came, it left the mainstream very quickly. Now let's talk about fast fashion. Brands like Zara, Shein, and H&M can see a trend on the runway today and have a collection ready and in the mainstream in the next 2 days. And there's nothing wrong with the accessibility of fashion, but we should be cautious when these fast fashion companies steal from small designers, steal from mainstream designers, and help push the micro trend cycle forward in a way that is actually not innovative or, dare I say, helpful. Because yes, the accessibility of fashion is important for all sizes. We should also have a consciousness on the harm it does, especially when people's innovation is being stolen or the lack of innovation in itself. There's no room for innovation because their goal is to replicate what is already trending and meet the bottom line and serve their own financial goal and their own financial pockets at the end of the day. And because social media is so accessible, trends are adopted at an alarming speed. But here's the problem. This mass production of trends and the mass following of trends in a way that is exact copy and paste tends to leave us lacking our uniqueness, because you're following a trend to the letter as opposed to the adoption of a new item into your already existing style. So what does this mean for fashion? Right now, we're stuck in a loop. The fall fashion for 2024 is literally the same as fall fashion for 2023, with the exception of a few pieces, and the same as the one for 2022. And you can see where I'm going with this. As long as we continue to push micro trends and fast fashion companies continue to profit on the speed of the trend cycle, we're not going to see any new innovation, which brings me to my next point. For us to be able to slow down, take a breath. You don't have to adopt every single trend. You can adopt a trend in a way that's innovative to you. I think this is a perfect example. So Sabrina Carpenter wears the signature boots that are literally go boots to the leather, but in a way that she adopts these boots to fit her own personal style. Being literally a little petite princess, she brings in her own personal style into these things. Same goes for Monet McMichael and every other fashion girl out there. Taking a trend and putting it into your closet and then putting it into your own personal style, as opposed to buying into every single trend and literally just being a mannequin for trend and not having a style that exudes your personality. We need to learn to embrace the timelessness of fashion instead of chasing every single trend that comes along. As much as we crave newness, maybe it's time for us to redefine what is new in fashion. Innovation doesn't really have to come with reinventing the wheel. It could be little styling choices that make a huge difference in the way a piece is perceived. So if you're wondering why the past few fashion cycles have seemed the same, it's not just your imagination, but that's okay. Fashion is what we make of it, how we express ourselves in style and how we make our personality show through the clothing that we wear. Let's embrace what works for us and stop chasing trends. Anyways, until next time, live beautifully.